Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to our project. This is, I think, the fourth part of our project. We're doing a storage building. We started from part one. If you have just joined, you may need to start checking from part one up to the last part so that you can follow along. But we decided yesterday, today we shall start doing our facades. And this is where we left our project yesterday. We managed to put the windows, doors, and everything. So today what we are going to do is we shall start designing our house the way we want it to look like. You remember, we said we are going to be seeing some of the facades from this because it was this design that we were trying to replicate, but we shall not do everything exactly the way it is here, though we want it to look much better than this. So what we are going to do is we need to start furnishing our exteriors of this house or this building. Now you realize we created our roof and we created slopes for the rains. Oh yes, we didn't create ducts for the waters to collect. So today we're going to start with the ducts, and of course you can also create ducts to make a house look beautiful. So we're going to create one duct here because this side water will pour here, so we shall create a duct here in this corner. Then we shall create another duct, maybe because now this one pours here, this one pours this side. We can create a duct also in this corner or this one here. So let's go to our ground floor, and the water for this side is going to pour on the back, this back here. So we go to our ground floor, then we shall create the first duct this side. Let me see here again. Yes, it is this corner here that we want to create our duct. So in the ground floor, it is this part here. It is this part. Let's try and measure and see how long it is. This is 900. Yeah, I think this one can create for us a duct. So let's try and achieve that. Oh, we shall have to push this window a bit so that we can create our duct, because we need enough space for the duct as well, and we need like I think 1000. So we shall use a wall to create our duct. We can choose any wall here, then we come to create similar. Instead of going to the architectural wall, selecting this, that will be now a long process. At the stage where we reach, we can make things much easier than that. However, let's start drawing our duct. We are going to draw this wall. I'm sure Revit is going to complain, of course. If you start drawing your wall, you can even give it a dimension. We shall say 1000. Revit will complain because you can't draw two walls on the same line. So we shall have to, sorry about that. We shall pick this wall and move it. If we move it, of course, it will move with this. But of course, we can also align this wall. We shall say we pick this wall or any of this wall, then we come to the line tool. We shall pick this part and align it with this. It's not working. So the next option we have is to delete this wall. Or we shall also just create similar. We shall create it outside here for now. Then we delete this. After deleting, we can now align this. We can bring this surface to this one here like that. Then we shall align this to this. Then let's try and measure this. It's 1000. So that's what I wanted to achieve. I wanted our duct to be at least 1000 So we shall push this window a bit so that the duct can have space. This duct is for collecting water that is coming from rain. So we're going to offset this side. We come to offset after selecting the wall. You come to offset, then we're offsetting 350 because this house is big. We need 350, not 3,500. Supposed to be 350 there. Of course, this distance you realize is not 350. Let me see. See that it is not 350 because the 350 we put has also taken into consideration this thickness of the wall. So we shall click on this wall, then we make this number 350 so that we get enough space here for water to flow. So we can delete that. So I'm going to select this wall and then I'll say create similar and I'll draw another wall here to connect to that. I'll do the same this side. I'll draw here, connect to that. So now let's see the distance we have here to here. That's 640. I think that can work. 640 is okay. 640 by 350, that can fit pipes. And of course these walls are going to go all the way to the rooftop. This one here has to go all the way to the rooftop. So if you realize our wall heights for each level is 3.5, that means 3.5 plus 3.5, that is 7 meters. Then if you come to our parapet walls, the parapet wall from this side is 1000. That means we need a wall height of 8 meters. So we shall select all these walls, this, and this. For you to select them like that, you press on Control and you select multiple. So we shall give this 8 meters tall. So now if you come to the 3D, it will be here. However, we have drawn it in a very wrong area. This is not where we wanted it to be. So this wall, let me see, where am I? First of all, this wall is supposed to be here. Let me see the front door. Our front door is this side. Front door is this side. And then this wall is supposed to actually be here. Yeah, it's supposed to be this side. The wall is supposed to be here, not this side. So we shall just copy all of it. I have just highlighted all of them. Then we can move. You just click that. After clicking move, you also click on it to move it. So we shall bring it here. I'll bring it here and place it there. Now we can align. So we shall just pick this align tool. We align this to this. Then we shall align that to this. Then we can do our measurements inside. So this one inside, we wanted it to be 300. This one is supposed to be 300. We are going to do it with the outer wall. So I'll give 350 instead of 300. And then of course the length, I guess, has remained the same. Let me see. So this length is supposed to be at least 1000. So I will click on this and push this to 1000. Something like that. Okay. Now let's see our 3D. and the gutter is now where it is supposed to be. So it is here. We shall collect our water here. Water will come and run here to go to the duct. From the duct it will go to the manhole down. So this is what we want to achieve, and we need to draw another one for this side. This side will be here where there is only one window. Let's see where there is only one window. We can see that in the first floor where there is only one window. I guess it is here. Yep. Yeah, it is this side, and we are going to draw this one here instead of this side. Since we already have this one here, we can draw another one here, and I'm going to copy this. You can select as you hold on Control. So this time we're going to say copy instead of what? Instead of moving, we shall copy it. You click on it, then it will copy it. You can bring it here. Then of course we shall need to rotate it. So now I will come to my rotate. I'll rotate it from here like this. It has to be 90 degrees. Then of course you can just push instead of wasting a lot of time. You can push. Now from here we need to align it using the line tool so that we don't get into trouble with the Revit. So I've clicked on my line tool. I'll align here, then I align this. I'll escape one. I'll align this to this. Let me see, this to this. Hope it has aligned. I hope it aligns. It's not aligning. It has not aligned. Let me try one more time and see what could be the problem. Let me try and push it. So sometimes you can also do these things manually as long as you are achieving what you want to achieve. So it's not always straightforward. Then this one, of course, we wanted 1000. We shall click on this wall, then give it 1000. Then the inside, let's see, the inside is 389. We wanted 350, so we shall put here 350 like that. So our duct is here. This is the first, then this is the second. So now we have our duct for water to pour. However, this side is supposed to be taller because this wall here is 1.3. That is the parapet wall. So we are left with the 300 to add on to this. So this wall, we're going to select all of them, and we give a height of 8300 like that, because the parapet wall here is a bit higher than the previous. So now we are good to go. Our duct is here, including the gutters. Yeah, so we are going to officially start our facades. Actually, these ducts are also part of facades. They beautify the house because we are going to give it material that will make the house to look nice. Remember, I said yesterday I want this part of the house to be curtain wall. So we're going to learn how to create a curtain wall here. For you to create a curtain wall, first of all, you select on this wall that you want to make as a curtain wall. Then you come to this icon down here which says temporary hide stroke isolate. So you click on it. You come to isolate element. When you click on isolate element, it will come here. However, we are supposed to do this in the 3D. Now we're going to go back. You click on it again, you reset temporary height so that it takes us back to our floor plan. Then we go to the 3D, we click on the wall that we want to change as curtain wall. And we do the same, we come to this temporary hide stroke isolate. Then we click on isolate element, it will give us this. So we are going to turn half of this into a curtain wall. So for you to create a curtain wall, first thing we're going to do is to split this wall into some sections. So we shall split this wall, we shall go to our split element tool, which is here. And then you can give, let's say like 500 down. I'll split from 500 down, and up here I'll give a distance of, let's say we're giving up there 400, something like 400. We shall split it there. Now, after splitting, we can even isolate the wall further. The ones that we have splitted, we come to this temporary hide and isolate, we say hide element. Then we also click on this one here, we say hide element. Now we are left with this. We want again to split this side and this side so that we can have a wall that will completely be turned into curtain wall. So we go to our split element. So we're going to split around here, around the door, split here. Then this side, I think I'll also leave 500. I'll split there. We shall also hide these ones that we have cut off. You come to your temporary hide and isolate, you hide element, you come to this, you click on temporary hide, you hide element. Now we have this wall we are going to turn as a curtain wall. So from here you come to your architecture. From architecture you go to your wall, you say wall architecture, and you click on this, drop down, click on this drop down, and you scroll down to almost the end, and you'll see here curtain wall empty, curtain wall exterior glazing, curtain wall wall storefront. What we want is this curtain wall. You can use any of these, but we want to go with this curtain wall which is completely empty, because we want to know how to even create the grids and the mullions. So I'll click on this, and even before doing that, we have to first click on this wall, then we come to the wall, and we choose curtain wall. It will change this wall to curtain wall. As you can see here, this wall is no longer a brick wall. This is now a glass, and it is a curtain wall. However, it doesn't have the grids and the mullions. So we're going to create that. For you to create that, you click on the wall, you come to your architecture, and you come to curtain grid. As you can see here, there's curtain grid. However, you are going to start creating your own grids. Me, I want a grid here, then I want another grid here. Down here, I want a grid here, I want another grid here, something like that. Then here in the middle, I might create a grid. I think I can create one grid. Let me create, no, I want to create a grid 600 here, this side 600 here. Now we have created our grids the way we want. This is a custom grid. So now to turn these grids into mullion, you still come to architecture, and you can see mullion is just after the curtain grid. You click on mullion, then you come to this last element that says all grids line. You click on it, then you come and click on your wall. It will create grids all over the it will create mullions all over the grids that we created. Now our curtain wall is ready. You can simply come back to your temporary hide and isolate element. You reset temporary hide and isolate element. Now you can see we have our curtain wall here. See that? This is now a curtain wall. It's no longer a normal wall that is with brick. So that's what we wanted to achieve for this part. If we click on a realistic, if we turn this to realistic, you will see what we have so far. Because I've been using shaded just because my computer is a bit lower version. If you put a realistic, it will make your computer really heavy. So this is what we have. You can see through this curtain wall because it is really glass. So that is how you can create a curtain wall right from scratch with the mullion and all the grids. And then let's continue. I'm going to turn this back to shaded so that the computer does not complain. Yeah. So let's do something that let's see our previous 3D and what we can achieve. Now we want to start creating these extrusions. We have to create extrusions especially around the face where this part is. I want to create an extrusion from this part and make it really look nice. So I'll create an extrusion here. First of all, as a floor, I'll create a floor for this area here up to maybe here. Then I'll extend it all the way outside so that I can create an extrusion for it. Or we can create extrusion first and then we create a floor. But let's try and see what we can achieve. So I'll come to my floor, my first floor. I'll come to my first floor. I just want this area here. I want to cover it with the floor, but of course I'll not create the floor on this same ground. So I'll click on my floor. Let's go to architecture, and then floor. And then I want architectural floor. Then I will still pick lines. I can still pick lines. Then I'll pick the outer sides of this. I want to create it up to here, up to here. Then I will connect it with this. I'll connect here to here. Then I'll connect this to this. I'll connect this to this. But of course, before finishing, we don't want this wall to be just at the same level with the ground floor, because we want this floor to be in air, like to create a shed on top. So let's try and give it 2000 millimeters high, that is 2 meters high, and we go to our 3D and see what we have. So now in the 3D we have it here. Have it is still covering the door. You remember the door is 2.5, so we need to increase this to, let's say, 3 meters and see what we shall have. This is what we have at the 3 meters. I don't know if this height is okay for you, but I think it is too low to the door. So let's give it a 3.3. There it is better. 3.3 looks better for me. And we are now going to create some facades around here, around this thing. So we need an extrusion that can extend from this duct up to this side to create like a cover, a nice face cover for this part here. And I think I also want this wall, this floor to extend this side, but now I'm going to use extrusion to do that because I just want to create this part here, this part. So for you to create extrusion, you need to, first of all, this window is really hidden. Let's try and bring it out, yeah, like that. So we're going to, you come to your architecture because we're creating extrusion. Then you come to these components, you click on this drop down, you say model in place, then you look for generic models, which is here. This is generic models. I just clicked G on my keyboard so that it takes me to generic models. I'll say okay. Now you can rename it the way you want. For me, I'll leave it like this. I'll say okay. It will bring you to this menu. From here, we need to select extrusion because that's what we want to use. Click on extrusion. Then from this side, you have to click on this set. You set work plane. From here, you select pick plane. Then of course, you just say okay. Now you have to pick the plane. For me, I will go with this. This can help and it can work on all these platforms. This face that is really shown to us. So after selecting that, you can pick any of these tools to start drawing. I'll pick this rectangular tool, then I'll start drawing. So I'll draw something from here, let me say up to here, like that. Then of course you can do your measurements. You don't have to just draw. So here we are going with 800. I'll go with 800. I'll write 800 and enter so that we have that. Once you feel what you have achieved is okay, you can click on this tick. You finish modeling. Then the thickness, of course, you also need to give the thickness. Because these things are up and these are really facades, we are not going to give a heavy thickness. So the depth will be, let's give it just 100. The depth will be 100 and finish. So now this is what we have here. I don't know if you can see it well because now we are using shaded. The colors may all look the same. Let me put on this. So this is what we have done so far. And then of course it only covers this part here. Let's see what we have here. So now after doing that, of course we need to create a surface on top of this. A surface that will come from here to this side to blend with this. So we're going to create another extrusion from here just to go all the way up this time. So I'm going to turn this thing back to shaded. What you need to take out of this is just how to create extrusion. Don't mind about how my design is going to look like, but understand how to create extrusions. So I'll go to architecture. I click on this drop down of components. I say model in place. I look for generic models. I click OK. Then I can rename it or leave it. I say OK. Then I select extrusions. I come to set plane and then I pick plane. I say OK. Then I pick these tools to draw. So I'll draw. I think I didn't pick a plane. You have to pick a plane, then you select the plane you want to use. Then after that you can now select the tool for drawing. After selecting that, let me do this. I'm going to draw it here. I'm going to draw it here. So now after drawing that, I can do my measurements. Here I need, let's say also we're going with the 800. So 800. I will say okay, finish edit. The depth for this one, this time I think I'll go with 150. I want it to extrude outside. I can finish it, then we shall have something like this. Now if we want to extend this out or up, it doesn't matter, we can do it the way we want. But however, for me, I feel this is okay. Now what I want to do is I want to connect, I want this side with this to cover this area here. I want them to cover this area. So I'll do this. I'll create an extrusion in this area here, just this area alone. So I'll come to my architecture, I come to components, I say model in place, then I look for generic models, I click OK, I rename it the way I want, I click OK, I select extrusion, I set plane, I'll pick a plane, and the plane I want is we have to pick this one here. Picking a plane is very important for this, because when you pick the wrong plane, you may not achieve what you want to achieve. So I'll click here, then I'll say this comes to this, because I just want to create it in this area to fill this space. Then of course I don't need to do any measurements here. I'll say okay, maybe the thickness will remain the same. Okay, now when we look into our 3D, this is what we have. And then I want to align this to this, so that let me see. I think if I don't align, it may also look good. What I want us to do is, let's give colors to this thing, so that we shall see the difference of what we are doing, because now all the colors are looking the same, and it becomes really very hard for us to know what we are doing. So we are going to start giving materials to this thing, to these houses, or to our walls. So for now, let's go with this duct wall. We go to this edit type, because we have selected a duct wall, so we're going to edit the type. We shall duplicate, then we shall say this is a duct wall, say duct wall, so we say okay. I hope you understand this part up to this far. I'll edit. So from here, in the exteriors, I'm going to give stone. I'm going to give stone. I'm going to create a new material for this, and the material will be duct stones, because ducts, most of the people use stones to create to beautify them. So from the appearance, we're going to select this icon, and we look for stones in this asset browser. And just search for stone, and you see what it brings for you. Here there's stone covering, the stone, all these forms of stones. We can look for the ones we want. Let's see this. There are so many of these stones, so you can select the one you like. I think I may go with this for now. I'll close this asset browser. Then in the material browser, I'll just click on apply. Then of course for the graphics, when you don't give graphics, it will of course show you this gray color, and this is the color we are seeing on the shaded menu. But if we give here a different color, it will of course show us the different color that we want. For example, if we are going with this like this, a bit of yellowish, then there, something like that. If I say apply, and then okay, from this part I will just now go with the duct wall, where is it searching? I'm searching for duct wall, duct stones. Actually, I'm going to say okay. Now basically I've edited the wall. Both sides are now going to show the stones on the ducts. So I'll select here okay, I'll apply and apply. So now this will be the color when it is shaded. But if we come to realistic, it will show for us a stone. You see that? It gives us that stone material. So we're just going to now do what? We shall create similar. For you to create similar, you come to this, let me look for it. Here there's match type properties. You click on match type properties, you click on this, you match it with that. You see that? They are now having the same colors. Then it is still active. When I click on this, then I match it with this, it will also give it the color and the material we have created. Now our duct is having this color. You see that? It is having the stone finish. It's having the stone finish. I think this one looks nice. Let's do the same for this duct. So we shall click on our match type properties. Then we click on of course, this one will also extend what? It will extend the height as well. The match property takes all the properties. However, we don't want the height of this wall to be, these walls or the ducts to be the same. So we shall click on this. Then we shall come to our basic wall. What? It will take us, of course, to the wall menu. We shall click on the drop down and we'll look for the duct wall. We look for our duct wall. We can also search for it here. The duct wall is here. We shall just now click OK to give us our duct wall. So now we can match our properties. You click on match properties, you click on this, you match it with the other one. Match it with this one here. So you can also match it with this side like that. So now our ducts, I think their materials are done. We are finished with their materials. And then for the extrusions, we are going to start giving also materials for these extrusions, because I think I want this to extend all the way down. Now if you want anything like this to extend the way down, which is an extrusion, it's just a matter of dragging it. Just click here, you drag it all the way down the way you want. That is the power of extrusion. It allows you to manually do certain things. Because it is a generic model, it gives you the powers to even drag things in all directions, so you don't have to worry. Now this is going to be a pergola. I want to give it a wood material or a wood finish, so we shall click on it. That is how you can edit extrusion. After clicking on it, you come to edit in place, and then it will bring you here. You have to click on it again. Then from here, it will give you this menu that where you see material, you come to by category, you click on this box, then you can create a new material. So we're going to say this is wood finish. Wood finish. So after creating that, let's come to our appearance. In the material browser, we click on this icon, then we look for wood finish. Now doing this, you need to know what kind of wood you are giving and where it can be got from, and of course you should be able to defend your design. So when I click on this, there's also this, there's this. I think I like this color. So I'll go with but it is giving us a different color. It is showing black, so I'll go with this, and the color it is giving us is okay. So I'll close this, I'll apply, I'll say okay, then I'll finish model. So that is what we have. You see now it is giving us a wood material, which makes the work to look really nice. For me it looks nice. I don't know about you, but of course, this being a design, I think I'm going to do what this wood is only finish. It is not of course it is the material we gave it as a finish. We can even make this still a steel and give it this kind of finish. And then I want to separate, like I want to cut this. I want to make it like strips instead of it being one whole wood up to the top. So I will click on it again. I'll edit it in place. Then I'll click on it again. So here we say edit extrusion. So I'll edit extrusion. It will give us this. You remember this extrusion is 800. Let's first measure it. It is 800. Now 800, we're going to divide it. By offsetting. So you come to your offset here. Click on offset. I want to remove 200 from here. This side I will remove 200. This side I will remove 200. Then I want to have a gap of let's say 50, or we can say we are removing let's say 100. So here, inside here 100, inside here 100. Then we shall give a gap of also 100, here 100, 100. So we're going to do editing, some bit of editing here to connect these things. Now you have to come to a split. You click on the split. You split where you are going to cut it off. I will split here. I will split here. I'm splitting where I'm going to leave gaps. I'll split here. Then this one here, let me split it for now. Then also on top we have to also split. Up here we shall split here, we shall split here, we shall split here, and then we shall split here. That means we need to create one more here. We shall come to our offset. We are going to offset 100 this side. It will now connect with this other split. Now you come to your trim, stroke extend to corner. I'll extend this to, first wait, that. So we're going to extend this to this. Then we extend this to this. 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 We are extending this to that. Then we're extending this to this. So the upper part is done. So when we come down, we also start here. We're extending this to this. 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 We're extending this to that. Then we're extending this to this. So we have created our pillars. We finish model. We finish model. So you can see our pillars have been created here. See that? These are now common designs nowadays. So you can see we have created our pillars here, and it is 800. It is 100 meters. I mean millimeters. 100 millimeters. 100 millimeters wide and 150 millimeters thick, and the material is wood. So that's what we have achieved, and we can do another thing. This was really basic to teach you how to do extrusions. So let's do a sweep. I want to do a sweep, but before we do a sweep, we need to finish this part here. If you see our previous design, we had something like this. You see that we had something like this, and also that. So we can still do that. We can achieve that here. In this part here, we can achieve it. However, you see now, I want people to also access this side. So maybe we can draw that one. We want people to be able to access this side through here because there's this door. They can be able to come here. So I might draw something up here just from this side to up here to connect this side. So to do that, we are going to use this surface. We can use this surface to connect it up. So we come to our architecture, we go to components, we do model in place, then we look for generic model, then we rename it the way we want, click OK, we select extrusion, we set a plane, we are going to pick a plane, then the plane we are picking is this part here, this one. So after picking the plane, I just want to draw something here, small, like that. Actually, maybe up to up, because that's what we are trying to achieve. Up to up. And then we can do our measurements. Let's say from here, let it be 1.5 sub. We don't want those numbers with the points. So let's try and finish. And the thickness is 250. So let's finish the model and we see what we have. This is what we have created, and we want to connect it to the upper part. You can even align these things. You can click on the align tool, you click on the downer part of this, then you click on the top part of this. It will bring it to the bottom end of that thing and they align it perfectly without you struggling to drag it up. You see that? Now it is perfectly sitting there. So now if you look at what we have done here, someone will ask how will this one sit here like without any support down. So we can create another design around this. We can create another design around this so that it has a base down and also gives a very nice design around this door. That's what I am thinking that we can achieve. However, for now, let's drag it down a bit. Let's drag it here. I want it to be here. Then I'm going to create something from here to down. Then it also supports it here. That is still extrusion. We shall keep using extrusion until you understand it. However, we can give material to this. For now, I don't know the kind of material we can give this. But let's first finish the model up to down. So we're going to our architecture, then we shall select components, we go to model in place, you look for generic model, you click OK, you rename it, you select extrusion, you set a plane, you pick a plane, you say OK, the plane we want is this one here. Then you select the tool for drawing. Now we're going to draw it here. I want to draw it here. Let's first draw it like this. I'm going to chop off some parts. So this is what I want to get. I want to get that, but of course I'm going to exclude this part. I'm going to exclude this part here. Let's draw with this actually. I'm going to exclude this part from here. Let's first draw this. I'm going to exclude this part up to up here. Here, I don't want these parts here. So I'm going to select my trim. I'll cut it here, I'll cut here. Then I come to extend, I'll extend this to this. Then I'll extend this to this. I can delete off this side. I'll delete off this side. then I'll say okay. Then the depth can be, let's say, 200. Then finish model. Then see what we have. You see that? You see this? This is what we have achieved. So we need to give them different materials so that we can be able to see what we are really doing very well. So now let's go with this upper part. This upper part, what material can we give it? So let's come to edit in place. Then you click on it again. You edit material. Maybe we can give it a different color. A color that looks like a wood color this time, but not real wood. Just create material. You say brown color maybe. I like brown colors. That's why I go with brown colors a lot. So I'll click on this icon. I look for paint. And when I come to metal, let's say metal paint, let's look at fabricated. All these ones are giving me this color. However, you can do what you can still change these colors, but what we are doing, we are not doing a metal that is a molding that can be casted. So let's look for a different color. For now, I'll just choose any color. I'll come and change it here. So you can also change these colors, by the way. Come to this, then we can give it some kind of color like that, like this. It looks like wood. Let it be a bit darker. Then okay. I'll say apply. I'll say okay. Then I finish it. So that's what we have. As you can see, this is what we have. That gives us now the option to change this color to something else. However, you see this thing is sitting almost, it is sitting on the door. That means we need to remove the door from it. So we shall edit in place. After selecting it, you edit it in a place. You select it again, you edit extrusion. Then you have to take away the door. So we shall offset this. However, I can just pick this and draw something that is not really so close to the wall, I mean to the door, so that the door can be on its own. So here, then we shall trim to extend. We can trim this to this. Then we trim this to this. We can now delete the excess that we don't need, which is this part here. Delete it off. We finish. Then we finish. That's what we have. That's what we have so far. But of course, this one here, we can also give it a different color that is not linked with this top part. So basically, we are learning extrusion. I expect you to understand how I'm doing the extrusion editing and all that stuff. It's not about how beautiful this house is going to look, because really designing a beautiful house takes time, and you need to give it your best, and you concentrate, and that can take a lot of time. But we are learning how we can achieve extrusion and also re-edit it and stuff like that. That's basically what we are doing. So this one here, I think I'm going to give it a darker color. But if you give a darker color, it will look like this door. It is going to look like this door. So what do we do? Let me give it a white color, purely white. Or we are going to give this wall a white color. Let's try and give that. We create a new material for this door. We just edit, not door, but a wall, this wall here. We edit type, then we duplicate it. We're going to say, let's say white wall. These labelings will help you know what kind of material you gave to specific elements. So you edit. So we shall just edit the exterior and the interior sides. We create a material, then we shall still call it white wall. And then from here we can just change this. We can just change this color to white. We just push this all the way there, and we say okay. We apply and apply, and then we come to this interior part. We shall select the white wall. We search for white wall that we created. White wall, it is here. So we shall just say okay, and then here okay, apply, okay. Now that wall is white. That one is real white. Then we can select this. Then we come to our wall. Of course, when we select the wall, it will show you you are now in the wall category. You can click on the drop down and look for your white wall. Just search for your white wall. It is here. That's what we want, even for this, because they are all in the same place. So instead of doing this manually, you can just come to your match type property. You click on this, you match it with this. It's saying can't make wall. Okay, so we're going to do it manually. Oh, another option is you come to your paint. From the paint, you have all the paints that you have created. So we have this white wall. We shall just click on it and paint it on the wall instead of stressing ourselves. You see that it has painted it. We shall also paint this down one. We come to paint. Then of course we have our paint here. If you don't see yours, you can search for it there. So you just click on it, then you come and paint it here like that. That's how you can use the paint tool. It will only pick a paint that you have created. That's why we keep creating our own materials, so that we can use them later to paint our designs without any hassle. So at least now there's some bit of difference in this. I feel this can even be a stone clubbing. So I am going to use this stone for this part here. So what I will do, the stone is called duct wall. So I'll click on this extrusion, then I'll come to edit in place. I'll click on it again. I go to material by category. I'll look for duct wall. We already created that material, so I'll pick this duct wall. It will give us the stone. I'll say okay. I'll finish the model. Our stone is there. You see that? Our stone is there, and I feel this is beginning to look nice. But of course the video is taking long, and I usually don't want to go past 1 hour. We are hitting 1 hour mark. I believe you have picked something from extrusions. This side I feel is beginning to give in, or it's beginning to make a nice feeling. Like you can start feeling that it's looking nice. So we are going to continue from here. I want to see in the comment section if you have understood anything from what we have learned so far today. And the next time we come to this design again, we shall add into extrusion, and also we shall introduce sweep, because we also want to do sweeps around here, so that you know what a sweep is. It is also part of generic models that you can use for beautifying your house. It gives the house a nice finish. So for today, it's 1 hour and we're going to stop here. And this is where we have left our design. Make sure you subscribe and share this with your friends if you appreciate what we are doing. And thank you so much for always being with us. See you again next time.